Hello, I
Hey,
knew. Happy
Precious.
New Week.
I've been awake. So
How
you
was
missed
your
last
weekend?
week.
Yeah, I mean, it was AWS downtime. That should be a news. I don't know.
Yeah. So
Felt like the world was ending.
yeah, totally. I was reading about it, that what just happened there.
Yeah,
I mean, the US East is one of their region, right? It's
yeah.
actually the default region. That's why, like most of our services are also in US East.
Yeah.
This being a default selected, I think like us, not many people change the region. They always keep it US default.
Oh,
The US East one, which is one of their biggest.
yeah.
So apparently what happened is there's something about DynamoDB DNS screwed up. So they
Wow.
made an update in DynamoDB. DynamoDB is one of their service. Apparently everything else in Amazon, EC2 to everything uses a DynamoDB to save metadata.
Yeah.
Since it was having hard time reaching DynamoDB, it's got a cascading effect on all the services.
Oh,
It's just amazing how internet was idea of the distributed system, right? It will
yeah.
never go down.
Decentralized. Yeah,
Decentralized, yeah,
decentralized
this
system. Yeah,
decentralized is the right word. Decentralized system that can never go down.
yeah.
I guess it can go down with just one stupid DNS entry apparently. So that's crazy.
It was crazy. That Monday was almost we couldn't even push the changes we had on that day. I
Yeah,
mean,
correct,
delayed our
correct, correct,
work at
correct,
Suvian. I mean, we couldn't go live for the podcast. We were ready, but we couldn't go live because
correct,
I
correct.
mean, even Restream, the platform we are using for this day, we are down. Everybody was down. The whole world was
Yeah,
down.
yeah.
Right. Yeah. All right. So why we couldn't do last week, that means we had like one extra week. And then during the 1 week, um OpenAI launched their new browser. And I think this is really, really interesting because at first it was
Mm.
Perplexity. I have Comet, so I use it myself sometimes,
Yeah.
especially when I'm trying to do things like preparing for this podcast, right? I use Perplexity a lot. And then they have new OpenAI have this new browser. They called it Atlas browser. I don't know if
Mm.
you've used it, Neil. So I haven't, even though they've been trying to force me to.
I downloaded yesterday to play with. I have some feedback, but go ahead.
Okay. So it's an AI-powered web browser around ChatGPT. Is aimed
Mm.
at developers and heavy knowledge workers. It introduces context-aware programming help, research automation, and integrated chat agent feature, positioning as a contender to browser like Chrome. Now, interesting things to note. Atlas is built on Chromium browser and it integrates ChatGPT directly into the browser UI, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then the features include summarizing content of a web page or summarizing content of a page, editing highlighted text in context. Also, it is available on Mac and Windows and all those things. Then also, Atlas provides an environment where your browser becomes a developer tool, not just a browsing surface. So, you can code search, you can also do documentation, summarization, research help, everything without leaving your browser, which is what I think is the general idea of AI browsers. You being able to do everything without leaving your browser. So instead of me switching tabs from Google to maybe a document, I can do everything in one tab. So I haven't used this, right? So one of the another important thing to note is that there has been a lot of conversations and a lot of concerns about security risk on AI agent browsers, and then things with data privacy with Perplexity AI. I can even tell Comet to make a tweet for me. So I just write a tweet and say, hey, go and tweet this for me by 3 p.m. Right, and he goes and he makes that tweet for me. And a lot of people have been concerned about privacy and about the issues around things like injection through the browser and security of, of these browsers.
Yeah.
So I haven't used Atlas, but I've used Comet. So, but let's hear what you
So,
have to say, Neil.
what's your experience with Comet? I mean, how do you decide when to use Chrome versus Comet?
So, for example, I want to research on this podcast. I just go
Yeah.
Comet is like my I only remember it when I want to prepare for podcast, right?
Okay,
So
okay.
let's say Sunday evening or Saturday evening, I want to just, just do something light about the podcast, just to see what's going on. I go
Yeah,
to comments, I put in the thing, it shows me, I just
yeah,
scroll through and all those
yeah,
things.
yeah,
But I haven't used it besides that.
yeah,
So that's like my
yeah.
only use case for now. Yeah.
So my first experience with Atlas was it felt like I'm using Chat GPT. So I was kind of for some time I was really confused. Am I in the Chat GPT tab because it looked very similar to like Chat GPT tab. So I Chat GPT can also browse the internet and find sources for you. This
Yeah.
browser can do it too. I mean, I struggle a little bit. I think someone smarter than me can probably answer this. I struggle a little bit saying why. Why would I use a browser when I can get almost similar stuff from ChatGPT? I didn't get the difference. And my second thought was it's super slow. Uh,
Oh,
yeah, it's super slow. I asked for something else. The Halloween coming this Friday is Halloween, so I was looking for
yeah.
some gift ideas, and I was thinking, hey, instead of me doing searching step by step, this is a good way to use the Atlas to figure this out. Give me some
Yeah.
gift ideas. It's stuck. I mean, I think it switched between. I mean, I feel it felt like this is a very better release, to be honest.
Yeah.
I'm sure this software is going to get better and better. This is definitely example of early release. But what I found interesting is, Precious, you're going to like this, is I've been wondering, or you might be wondering, why are they releasing browser? Obviously, one of the reasons for doing this is that whoever controls the browser sort of controls the user interaction, kind of lead the
Oh,
market, right? Because I think Comet or Atlas going to get better and better as it builds a context about you.
yeah.
It remembers you, you understands your preference. I think more you use it, I feel like this browser is going to become more helpful. But
Yeah.
at the same time, I mean, Chrome already, I logged into Chrome. Chrome knows me already. Sort of Chrome
Yeah.
AI, if you switch to Google search, go to Google search and switch on AI, it's going to feel like AI browser
Yeah.
already. So I don't
Yeah.
know. I mean, one interesting thing to remember, though, I was looking at this Azim Azhar's tweet, which was interesting. That's what I was pulling up. So ChatGPT has 800 million users.
Yeah.
Okay, but only 5% of them actually paying.
Whoa.
Yeah, so that's very interesting. If you think about it, Anthropic's API business is bigger than OpenAI's.
Oh, wow.
As a company, as a business, Anthropic is actually doing really, really good.
Better.
So this could be another interesting trigger for OpenAI is to figure out a product quickly in the market, which could be a new revenue stream for them. Because I was surprised by the stat, because 5% only paying subscriber is kind of, do you, I mean, I know you don't pay, do you?
I
No.
don't. I don't. Yeah. I mean, that's also interesting because over the weekend, I read the
Yeah,
news that ChatGPT now created a special subscription plan for Nigerians. So, normal ChatGPT plan should be about 30 something thousand, 38,000. That should be close to $25 or so, right? 20 around that, around
it's
that.
$20 here. I mean, I have $20 plan.
Yeah. So I think close to that, right?
Okay,
So
yeah.
that should be, yeah, something
So
like
what?
that.
So
A
how
little
much
bit.
is for Nigeria?
So they created a new plan that is just for about 6,000 naira. So that should be less than $5.
That's good. Will that
Yeah.
may change your mind?
I mean, to be honest, I think I enjoy I mean I feel like the free version is enough for me, right? Right. I
Interesting.
still feel like the free version is enough for me. I mean I
Mm,
have Gemini also. I have Gemini Pro, right?
mm,
So and I honestly feel ChatGPT free version is okay for me. But
okay.
I don't think I may try. I may just try paying for it just to see how much is going to, what the difference is going to
And
look
I guess
like.
the question
And
is the
then,
limit. Do you hit the limit with free version of ChatGPT?
yeah, anytime I'm trying to do like my schoolwork, I always hit the limits. Every day I hit the
Yeah.
limit.
So I mean,
Once,
that's.
yeah,
Mm.
yeah. And then also, I think they kind of like remove some features for them to be able to create that version for us.
Oh,
Uh,
very
yeah,
interesting.
yeah,
Yeah,
yeah. And then
that stats was pretty eye-opening for me. Only 5% pays for this,
only 5%.
which is
So
sort of
another
interesting.
question is, do you think people are not finding this valuable? I mean,
Which one?
everybody could swear that OpenAI, ChatGPT, or
No,
AIs
no,
are
I
valuable.
find it super valuable. It's $20
So
worth
why are
it.
they not
I mean,
paying if it's valuable? Why are they not paying?
it's a good question. I mean, I think, like you said, free version is good enough. I mean, I wonder whether um, it's a how they're positioning themselves. I guess it's a hard question, right?
Yeah,
I mean, we also the companies are a bit of struggling that little bit, right? How to convert free to
yeah,
pro was a age-old problem. But I mean, what fascinates me is that I mean, Anthropic going in, I think they came up with much better strategy
yeah,
on their business and API side. I mean, they in general are pricey. Their API calls are expensive. Their token limits are very restrictive. In
yeah,
spite of that, their API business is much bigger than OpenAI. That's got to tell you in terms of value they provide, Sonnet's
yeah.
being sort of a leader in software engineering space, all this sort of coming together, you know.
Yeah. So I mean, someone made a very important insight to me, Zikora. I think you know him already. Yeah. So he told me
Mm-hmm.
something that um, you know, these guys may pay, right? So how did he say it? I think sort of like something like Anthropic niched down, and then the whole idea of AI is being sold to people in tech. So the adoption of the whole AI adoption started from people in tech using it, and then people outside tech, like everyday people, seeing this thing, and then the wow factor made them stick to it, right? So,
Mm-hmm.
but then Anthropic now narrowed down, doubled down on tech people. So they started building, fine tuning their models for developers, fine tuning it for people that are working in tech, right? So they
Mm-hmm.
didn't go the route of trying to get the whole world, trying to get 800 million users, trying to onboard everybody. They niched down on developers. They started
Mm-hmm.
building like very strong developer tools, started fine tuning their models to make sure they can write better codes, right? So,
Mm-hmm.
and these guys are the guys that have like very real use case beyond using it as therapy or any of those fancy things that other people do, right?
Right,
And
right,
then we decided they are the ones paying for it. They are the ones that can pay for it because
correct,
they find
correct.
it invaluable, right? So they will pay for it. So I think
I
that's
mean,
the difference between these two
I think
companies.
that's very fair. That's very fair. I mean, outside the tech community, if you talk about Anthropic and Claude, not many people know about them, to be honest. Everybody knows
Yeah,
ChatGPT, but if you say Claude, what is that? Right? Especially for
yeah,
non-technical folks, day-to-day people. I mean,
non-technical folks.
yeah,
Yeah,
non-technical folks. But that's, I mean, this is just matter of time, though, right? Because it's AI becoming such a horizontal thing. I mean, the future is. Future, like, as AI spreads more. I mean, OpenAI obviously going to have much bigger opportunity pool here.
yeah,
If you're, because I don't know whether, well, we are not covering this story, but I don't. Maybe you are. OpenAI is hiring lots of finance analysts from Wall Street.
yeah. I
Yeah,
saw
there's
that
been
news.
news about that. Yeah, so they're
Yeah,
definitely cooking something. So they are also
yeah,
becoming very vertical focused.
yeah. I think also it came after a news that DeepSeek performed better than all models in terms of financial analysis, analyzing like the financial market. So I think I
Actually,
saw that
it's funny.
after that
Funny enough,
news.
you
Yeah,
mentioned that. I was talking to a accountant yesterday. He was
yeah,
saying he uses Grok, and he was telling me Grok is really good at math. And
yeah.
he pays for Grok and OpenAI and ChatGPT and whatnot, but he said I use Grok for all my accounting needs.
Oh wow.
So yeah, that's sort of very interesting.
I mean,
Uh,
it's interesting. And one last thing on the news of browsers, right?
mm,
So
mhm.
Comet is now free for everybody. It used to be $200, but now it's free to use for everybody.
Oh, it's a browser war. Browser wars
It's
are
a
good.
browser war.
This is good for us. We get some.
Yeah.
So I might try Comet, but like I said, I was very confused. Maybe it's just a
Yeah.
huge change. I'm used to browser and typing in the search, seeing web pages coming up. And in the case of AI browsers, it's not web page, right? It's just chatbot giving me status update of what's happening.
Yeah.
It felt a little weird. So,
And
okay.
also another interesting thing is that all these browsers are all
Yeah.
built on Chrome engine, on Chromium engine,
Yeah.
owned by
Mm,
Google, and they are
mm.
all saying that they are here to beat Chrome. I mean, it's also very interesting thing to say. So you're marketing this in as Chrome killer, but then the engine you're using behind on the hood is also an engine from these guys. And
Is Atlas also built on Chromium?
yes, 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 all of them,
Oh, interesting.
all of them.
Oh, I do say, thanks for bringing that. I do want to point out one thing that at least in Atlas, I'm pretty sure Chrome probably has that too. As the chat interface is going searching the web, there
Yeah,
is a tab that where you can go to see the search result, like old school search result of all the web links that
yeah.
is gone through. That result doesn't have any sponsored links, which I thought
Oh,
was interesting and refreshing because now you're just getting quote unquote organic results.
organic
So there is no
results. Yeah,
sponsored links or ads, obviously,
yeah.
because it's not Google.
It's not
That I
Google.
found interesting.
I mean, who knows? They might decide to monetize that.
Oh,
They might
they
decide to
will.
monetize that.
They
They
will.
won't.
They
They
will.
will.
How
Yeah,
big the online ad market is? Go on.
yeah. It's a very big one.
Google Ads, Google search is how much money Google makes from that Google search results and sponsor. It's crazy. Why do you
Crazy,
think these
yeah.
guys are building browser? They want to go after that market.
Our markets, yeah. I mean,
Yeah,
other
yeah.
people have tried in the past. I mean, 2018, 2019, Brave browser was. I think I installed Chrome at some point. I had
Mhm.
A Brave browser
But
because my
it's
system,
mm, now
because
you
of the
pointed
speed.
mm,
Yeah,
pointed out right. So it's also going to matter to a couple of things here. Like, I mean, let's say mobile phone, right?
yeah,
That's a huge distribution, right? I know
yeah,
I can install Chrome on my iPhone. Maybe I did. I never use Chrome on my iPhone. I
yeah,
use Safari because it's default. It comes with distribution.
yeah.
So unless OpenAI or Perplexity figures out how to get to everybody's phone and make that as a part of a default browser,
Yeah.
uh, they have a long way to go.
I
It's all
mean,
distribution. It's
I mean,
amazing. If Apple builds an AI browser today, that will be the most used AI browser in the world because that will
yeah,
be on every iPhone.
I agree. I agree. Even though there's also like an interesting phenomenon there because I use the Android, I use a Samsung, and
Okay, yeah. What's the
they have
default
the
browser on Samsung?
they have a Phoenix browser. But once
Okay.
I get my Samsung, I try to get the first thing I look for is Chrome, right? Now it is also
Why is that?
interesting because
Why is it better? Well, obviously because better. Maybe that's why.
yeah, it's better and this the one I'm more familiar with, right? And then
Okay.
also it's also interesting to remember that Google owns the Android OS, right?
Right. Right.
Android OS. So when you install your Android, the first thing
Yeah.
on your Samsung, the first thing you need to do is to put in your Google account. So you can't even sign up using another account. So you
Mm.
sign up using your Google account, and then once you sign in, it comes with all Google packages, which includes Chrome, Gmail, YouTube, every other
Really?
thing, right? So
They couldn't make a Chrome browser. I remember now because there was a lawsuit against them because it will considered as a monopoly, at least in US.
yeah,
That's why they cannot make Chrome a default browser yet on Android. Otherwise, that would have
on
been
Android,
crazy.
that would have been crazy. And then which now makes me to understand why some people on social media have been saying that anybody that builds OS among all the AI companies is going to win. Anybody that builds OS. It's
Uh,
interesting.
yeah, but then you go to the next level that where OS is
Is the
not
OS
enough.
going to run?
When I'm buying iPhone, if it comes with iOS, then iOS is the OS I'm using. I'm not going to
Yeah.
upgrade to your operating system. So that
Yeah.
goes back to, I always feel like never bet against Mark Zuckerberg. I'm a big fan.
No.
So when Mark
Oh,
Zuckerberg, I
okay.
think Meta wanted to, yeah. I mean, he's a founder. Meta is still in founder. Never underestimate Meta.
Oh, wow.
So Mark Zuckerberg wanted to build phone. So one way to control the market is that you definitely have to go hardware.
Oh.
See, Mark wanted to build, I know, especially for India, wanted to build a phone and give that hardware phone free to everyone. Now, if you can suck up that cost and build that distribution, that's an amazing distribution.
That's an amazing distribution. I mean, and he always tries interesting. I mean, Mark Zuckerberg always tries interesting things. I'm not a
Yeah,
fan,
because
by the way, but
I know. OpenAI is building in hardware, isn't it? They're building
yeah,
something.
yeah. I mean, some
Yeah,
people say it has failed, but I mean, as far as we know, he's still considering building a hardware.
yeah,
And I mean,
yeah.
we spent
We
2 minutes
gotta.
talking about browsers, man. I think we should move on to the next thing.
But to browser to OS to hardware, yeah. I mean, it's just
Yeah,
crazy how
it's
distribution
crazy.
matters.
It's
Anyway,
crazy.
so I want to move to a main story. It was fun. I mean,
Yeah,
I think it's exciting times to see the browser wars.
yeah.
So the main story is Claude Skills, and I am super excited about this feature. So Claude released a couple of weeks back. We missed it last week. That's why I'm covering this story. Anthropic launched a new thing called Claude Skills. It's a framework that let developers teach Claude new skills, essentially new abilities.
Nice.
Now, skills are sort of way to think of like an onboarding materials for your Claude. Okay, so for an example, if you're working in a company, there is certain way style guideline you follow. Let's say for your coding practice, for your design, for the documents you create, what have you, whatever reason, whatever purpose you're using Claude for, and that's your company policy, right? That means Claude doesn't know about that policy. Usually what we used to do is that every time you use tools like that, you have to teach Claude, hey, this is our policy. Always make sure you follow the standards. Always make sure you follow the structure, right? It gets annoying. So now what you can do is that anytime you have something reusable, skills that you want Claude to remember, you can turn them into Claude skills, which is just a folder with a markdown file and bunch of other additional files. Okay. So
Hmm.
the the beauty of this is they made it so simple that you don't have to over engineer this. You don't have to, like, if you create an MCP server, right, you have to think about if it's an HTTP protocol, whether you have to use server sent event. There are lots of engineering work involved before you can get an MCP server up and running. But in this case, you just create a folder, drop in some files, and Claude will pick it up.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
That's
So
so.
when I was reading about skills, the first thing that I remember, hey, how that is different from MCP, because that's exactly what the reason why we use
Yeah.
MCP server, correct? If you
Yes.
want
Yes.
to
Yes.
add additional context data. Now, the problem is, remember, we talk about context engineering a lot in this podcast, right? Because it's such an important topic. The problem
Yeah.
with MCP servers is if you start to add multiple, I mean, if you add 3 or 4 MCP servers expose a lot of stuff. Like, here is my 10 different functions you can call. The downside of using MCP servers is it pollutes your context. That all this information stays in context forever for that
Yeah.
particular session. With skills, I mean, clearly they're learning. With skills, I like this design pattern. It's sort of progressive load. That means when you define a skill, you create a small YAML sort of format, like a very short description of what your skill does. Okay. So
Yeah.
when Claude is reading your skills, what it does is it's just only going to read the small snippet description, not the entire thing. So let's say your document has 500 lines of text, your skills.md file, let's say. But your short description has only 2 lines. What Claude will do by default, it will just read those 2 lines. Now, when the model
Oh.
will decide, yeah, this is very smart. That way your context is pretty open, clean, and so that you can mode other stuff. It doesn't pollute it. Now when the model will think based on the short description that the skill will be important, then it loads the entire skill data.
Oh.
Yeah, so that's how sort of it's managing this constraints of context engineering. And then the skill data, the MD file, essentially create an MD file. You can refer other files. If Claude thinks that other files are important, it's going to load that. It's fascinating. This is going to be my go-to thing going forward.
Yeah. So does this mean people are going to use MCP less?
I think so. I mean,
Oh,
there is still need for MCP servers if you're using third-party providers and where you need really good structure and protocol, well-defined protocol. But
yeah,
lots of stuff that we do day to day is not going to be. So let's say for an example, and it struggles a lot, Claude, by the way, because it's such a new technology. So we're doing lots of, for agentic, we do lots of A2A protocol stuff, right? Now, A2A protocol, what I was thinking, I'll create an MCP server that will connect to, but that is too much work for me to do, right? Because
yeah,
then I can do is that I can take snippets of A2A protocol spec and the way I want to design my agents, put it in a small MD file, and just load it in 5 minutes and done with it. If I have to
done
create
with.
an MCP server, then I have to think about writing a Python code, think about a server to run, host that server somewhere. There's a lot of work.
Yeah. Okay. All right. That's very interesting, though. So, guys, let
Yes,
us know if you use this.
mhm,
It's a very interesting one.
absolutely,
Let us know if you
absolutely.
use this. Yeah. All right. So, this news story that I have is a news from last week also. So, it's a news about Vue 3.1. I
Mm,
mean, there's been a lot of, I think it's also, I, I I think most of the AI companies have crossed the adoption level. So there's adoption. People are using this thing, but everybody's trying to find like a particular sector that is going to pay a lot of money for these things because, of course, I know they are spending a lot of money. These companies are valued high, and then they are probably running a lot of costs keeping this, maintaining these softwares, right? Now, Vue 3.1, right? It's a very interesting thing. So now, um, this 3.1 is an upgrade, is an upgraded model, so you can now produce a 1080p resolution output. It's still at 8 seconds because Vue only produces like an 8 seconds video. But then um, the core model 3.1 extends by adding more narrative control, richer audio, and sound effects, and improving editing using Flow. Now, there's another interesting thing, which is what they call Flow. I have checked out this platform. This Flow platform is a very interesting concept. So inside Flow, I can create a video. I can type in my prompt and say, "Oh, give me a video of myself flying in this space," and then it gives me a video of myself. Now I can go back and use a prompt
mm.
to change. I can say, "Oh, I want to I want to have something at my back, maybe a spaceship behind me, right? I'm flying in space and I want
Oh, interesting. So you can now, so you create a sort of end-to-end video. Then for every screen, you can go and tweak it,
yes, you can go and tweak it.
like
Yes,
editing the video. That's pretty cool.
yeah. So I mean, it doesn't
All the
it doesn't
video
take
video
out.
editors' jobs are gonna disappear. I'm kidding. I'm
That
kidding.
was the same thing they said to developers. I mean, so and I, and this came after Sora. I mean, OpenAI launched Sora, and then we have this new interesting tool. I mean, I tried using it because, of course, I have Gemini, so I tried using it. It comes with the full package. You can be able to create, edit tweaks of videos. It gives off very interesting videos, right? So it comes out very realistic. When you use human beings, it kind of struggle a little bit. But when you tell it to generate something like a Tom and Jerry character for you or a Pokemon character for you, it's going to come out almost as if it's the animation video. So if you're trying to produce anything with animations, you're going to get an excellent result from this. And then using Flow, you can be able to add new elements. Of course, now the editing is not so good, so you can remove, but you can add. new elements. And then I think it's a very interesting one. So you guys should check it
So
out.
do you think we can use this to create some content for us?
Yeah, I mean, I already created some content for us
Yeah,
using
you did.
it,
Was that a flow? Yeah. Okay. Cool.
I didn't use Flow. I just used Gemini to just generate that. Yeah,
Okay.
but I'm
Okay.
already experimenting on some of, and of course, I
Yes.
had to take some courses, and I saw how people can now use it to create like a 30 minutes video using Flow. I mean, using ChatGPT, Flow, and all those things. So you can create 8 seconds video and then join it together and all those things.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah,
That's very smart.
yeah,
Very smart.
yeah. Very
Go
smart.
ahead. You want to cover the next story or?
Yeah. So the next story I have here is from. So while we are still at the video story, let me say I think this story should be the next best story to come in here. So Sora 2 and OpenAI launched Sora 2. So Martin Luther's family sued. I think it's a very somewhat funny story. They sued OpenAI and then they actually won. So people were using Martin Luther's image character to generate like random videos, making mockery of him. They can generate videos of him, using some words that they didn't like. So they sued them and they won. So now you can generate a video of Martin Luther using Sora.
You cannot?
Which you cannot. So they had to pause his character. So nobody can generate a video of him again. Which is very interesting in terms of privacy. So which means
I
I saw
feel
someone.
like I haven't set a Sora to not this is not the feed thing, right? This is where
This is
you.
not the this is the video generating
Oh
part of
yeah,
it.
I think I've used it. Used it many times. When you upload an image to Twig, I think
Yeah.
that's you are responsible to make sure the image that you're using, you have rights to that image.
Oh.
It sort of makes sense though, right?
So but
How will
I can
OpenAI
tell it
get?
to so can't I just tell it to create me a video of Michael Jackson eating soup? I mean, I don't have a picture of Michael Jackson. I mean, I'm just saying, oh,
I
create
think
me a
you can
video of
cry.
Michael
Yeah,
Jackson
yes, you can.
eating soup, right?
I think
So
you can. Oh, I see what you're saying. They haven't uploaded. They're using the prompt to say
yeah,
Martin Luther King is yeah.
yeah.
Uh,
So
y- y-
something like that. Yeah.
okay.
So
Okay.
I mean, it's interesting to know in terms of privacy because I saw a tweet where someone said, "Oh, so the business model is use everyone's image until they sue. So when they sue you, you take it down. When they don't sue you, then people keep having fun with it." But
Uh,
yeah, I mean, with the whole video generating, the whole AI thing, I think privacy is something that is very, very interesting. And then personally, I look towards Europe because they're always the ones that will regulate these things. I mean, they always do.
yeah.
They always do. Yeah. So
I
yeah, you
mean,
have the next
yeah,
story.
and yeah. There is. Yeah, I don't think we're ready for what's coming. Um, and I've been very picky this week of which stories I should cover. Obviously, there is a quick one, Claude Code. We talk about a lot. Now also available on mobile and web. So you can actually use Claude Code. It doesn't have to be CLI anymore. You can use it from web. And their interface looks pretty cool, but for the time being, I'll still stick with CLI, but you can do it like
Oh,
Codex and any other tool. It's funny
I'm
that it
definitely going to
started
check
with
that.
terminal, now it's moving to web. They're completely going
Yeah.
different direction than others.
I mean, I
The
think
last
at
one,
the end of the day, oh,
yeah.
sorry for
No,
that.
go ahead.
Yeah. So at the end
No,
of the
no,
day,
no.
everybody's still going to get I think the real fight is in getting people to build products using this AI because talking about it also before the call, I was sharing with you that Google just announced that you can now build apps and websites using Google AI Studio, right? So
Yeah.
you can now vibe code using it. So I think that's also the market they are also sort of like trying to go after the market of
Mm.
vibe coding because if I have it on the web, then I can easily go in there and try to like build stuff using it. When it's CLI, if you are not technically to a level, if you don't have a certain level of technical knowledge, you may not be able to use CLI. I mean, CD dot ls, it can be tricky.
Yes, yes. And there is another reason too. I mean, I think being on web or mobile or having something run on their infrastructure gives them ability to connect to lots of stuff. I mean, classic. This is sort of the hello world of coding agents. Hello world example of coding agents. Somebody posts something on Slack that, hey, can you fix this? And Claude takes over, sort of thing. So
Yeah.
running on web or cloud will allow Claude to integrate with a bunch of your other tools. So
Oh.
with CLI running locally, it's could be tricky. So I mean, it totally makes sense why they're doing this. Um, for my purposes, CLI is pretty good. I
Oh.
just remembered something going back to the skill and MCP server because I was thinking about that yesterday. Since I'm struggling so much to make Claude sort of be aware of all AWS nitty-gritty details because I'm
Yeah.
using Claude to generate lots of deployment scripts and whatnot, and it makes a lot of mistakes.
Yeah.
And because obviously it doesn't know all the details or it doesn't remember all the details. So this would be a classic example of using MCP server. AWS provides an MCP server for AWS documentation.
Mhm.
So this is a good example of using MCP server. But wherever I have my thoughts that I want to tweak Claude about, I will use skills. So that's probably a good way to think about it. Um,
Oh. So,
yeah. I mean, so Claude also releases. I have all Anthropic stories for some reason. Claude also releases Claude, not sorry, Anthropic. The Claude is the model. Anthropic is just to
Anthropic
clarify.
is the
Anthropic
company.
is the company behind it. Okay,
Yeah.
Anthropic has released a new model called Claude Haiku 4.5, which is their newest, smallest model. This is the model news essentially now live. So interesting thing about Haiku 4.5, which is their sort of new frontier coding performance, it's really, really fast and it's 1/3 of the cost. I know I mentioned
Oh.
over and over again, yeah, Claude is relatively expensive model. So having something cheaper version, and I notice its stats on the performance table is pretty impressive. So Sonnet is almost like 77% accuracy. It has 72%. So
Oh.
I've been thinking what my strategy going to be going forward is whenever I'm doing planning with Claude, I'm going to stick with Sonnet 4.5. When the planning and the implementation plan is done, I'm going to switch to Haiku 4.5. That way, I think I that it's a right. It feels like a right balance because planning needs lots of thinking and high performing model. That makes sense. When you have a detailed
Yeah.
implementation plan, you can give it to Haiku and get it done in cheaper way.
Oh, I see. All right. I mean, they are really doing well though. Of Anthropic, they are doing well.
Like
I
you
was
said, they found their niche.
Yeah, they found their niche. I was telling a friend on Sunday that I strongly believe Apple is going to buy that company at some point. I mean,
That would be good
they, they,
strategy and good exit for them.
they have sort of like same, I don't know, same
Vibe.
vibe. It's
Mhm.
yeah,
Mhm.
Anthropic and Apple. Yeah, I'll be glad if they do. I'll be glad if they do. All right. So
And then
this next story.
Anthropic builds a browser, then that becomes the most used browser in the world.
Oh, they
If Apple
integrate with
Apple
something.
buys Anthropic, yeah, then
Yeah,
they
yeah.
work on a browser that becomes the most used
That
browser.
becomes the most used browser, yeah. And they find a way to make you do interesting things on mobile, then it's game over. Everybody should
Came
just
over,
go.
came
Yeah.
over. Yeah.
I mean, at the end of the day, Google is going to win because I mean Google and if Apple is not even doing anything, which is very interesting. I mean, they're just there. Elon Musk must be not Elon Musk, Steve Jobs
I'm
might be
sure
angry in
they're
his grave.
thinking through something. Yeah, they probably Steve Jobs would be not happy.
He'll be not happy. All right. So I saw this. I didn't really know what it means, but it's an interesting story, and I think I enjoyed reading it. So I'm just going to read it out. So NVIDIA
Yeah.
began shipping DGX Spark, right? So I think DGX Spark is sort of like a supercomputer powered by AI. I don't know what they call it, but you know how Apple have this desktop box that where you
Mac
can just
Mini, Mac
Mac
Mini.
Mini, something like that. Yeah. So this is exactly how it looks because when I saw the picture, it reminded me of Mac Mini, right? So they have this digital AI powered supercomputer that you can just buy, and the cost is $3,000. So you can just buy it, keep it on your desk, plug it to your normal computer or to your screen, and then you have access to all the superpowers and even the chips that GPU, the NVIDIA powered GPUs that you know that you can use to build out like your own AI models and all those kind of things. So this hardware is built around NVIDIA GP10. So and it offers up to 1 petaflop, 1 PF of performance, right? So it has 128 gig of unified memory between GPU and CPU, allowing large models up to 200 billion parameters to run locally without needing to split across multiple nodes, right? So if you're an AI or ML engineer, this is something I think you should look into. Maybe try buying it, and then also I honestly believe this is going to power a lot of startups all over the world. I mean, that means someone in Africa who can't really afford, the whole thing, building, models, right? They can simply buy this and they can be able to like experiment building. Maybe this is going to scale small language model like we used to talk about on this podcast, right?
Yeah.
So I think this is an interesting development. I enjoy reading the news, and then that's why I brought it here. It sold
I
for
wanted to,
three
I wanted to
thousand
share
nine hundred and
something.
ninety nine.
How
Okay,
much is it? How much is it?
3,999. So $4,000.
You're talking about NVIDIA, right? No,
I'm talking
something
about
like that.
NVIDIA. Yeah,
Yeah.
NVIDIA.
GDX Spark, right?
GDS Spark. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. Oh, yeah. This is actually very interesting because someone is telling me that too, because he was saying, "Hey, I'm trying to build something for a company where I'm going to use AI running model, but I cannot share the data with the provider in the cloud, right? It has a privacy concern." So
Mm,
I was telling him, man, sorry, bad luck. How are you going to get all the GPUs to run all this model?
yeah.
He said, "Don't worry. Do you know about this NVIDIA GDX? It's just a $4,000, and you get a solid this 4 terabyte machine. In
Yeah.
theory, then you can actually run DeepSeek on this and make everything
Oh.
local, right? Yeah,
Yeah. Yeah.
DeepSeek is an open source model. Obviously, you cannot
Yeah.
use Claude in here. Yeah, DeepSeek running on this for $4,000. This is what I want for Christmas.
Oh.
This
Maybe
is
I'll
my
try to buy
if
it for
anyone
you.
this would be cool. Everything running personally. Imagine this. That would
Yeah.
be awesome. Yeah, yeah,
Yeah, that would
yeah,
be awesome.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
All right.
That's it.
So
That's all, right?
yeah.
That's it, right?
Yeah, I think I'm just trying to go through my notes to know if I have one extra news. I think that is it. Yeah. Oh, one last one.
Yeah,
Very last one. Very last
yeah,
one. So anything, I think in their bid to go back as, trying to like do something new after OpenAI tried killing them. I
yeah,
mean,
yeah,
I'll
yeah,
put it that way,
yeah.
right? So they released what they call them workflow builder. So AI workflow builder. So just the thing you have been running away from, or you have said you don't want to do, from prompts to
Well, they
coding.
already had a workflow builder, though, right?
It's drag and drop, not from text to workflow,
Okay.
right? So now you can just describe your workflow. You just type it in a box, hit enter. The AI automatically creates the workflow for you. I've not tried this out. I mean, I think it's something very interesting because OpenAI did that and then they decided to go up like a little bit. So
I
from
feel like
prompts.
they're farther along, though. I mean, if they do it right, I mean, there is a chance that I thought they had a builder. Maybe they made some modifications to that, like you said, drag and drop. Maybe make it super
Yeah,
easier for people to.
yeah,
Yeah,
yeah. The
I
initial
mean,
one
I've
they
been
had
I've
was
been lately meeting people who keep saying that I use N8N. I mean, we know lots of people use N8N, though,
yeah.
right?
Lots of
So
people use anything.
yeah,
Yeah, yeah. I mean, they will
uh,
always have a market share for being the
yeah,
first
there
people to
because
do it.
there is a benefit of. I think N8N has, we give crap about workflows a lot here.
Yeah,
That's not maybe unfairly, but N8N has this option. I think their code is open source, though. I
yeah,
don't know whether
yeah,
we
yeah,
talked about this
yeah,
because I was looking into that, saying that, but their licensing terms was not compatible with what we're trying to do, so I didn't go because my initial thought was I want to build something on top of N8N, to be honest with
yeah.
you.
Oh, Okay.
But NA10 has, but you cannot build commercial products, just FYI. But if you want to use it internally for your company, you can download NA10. So imagine you making an agent builder for your company.
Oh.
And so that your staff can build agents that runs on in your company.
Yeah.
Then NA10 has lots of interesting solutions for that. And since it's an open source, you can download and run on your own server.
Run on your own. Oh, yeah.
Yeah. So
Right.
yeah. Okay.
That's
Well, cool.
interesting. I think
Yeah.
that's been a very interesting conversation, very interesting one, very interesting one, guys. So thank you very much for joining us live. For those that are joining live, if you are watching this later, thank you very much for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe to the YouTube channel, and then join us again next week Monday as we do this again. This is 10x Developer Podcast, and then yeah, we